All right, so I'm cleaning up my garage after doing wheel bearings and hubs and one ball joint. And let me get on to why I did one ball joint. All right, this shit's why. All right, you know, this is the ball joint I had in the car, and then this one, and then the Moog one I just put in. But so why did this happen? What's up with that? So basically, how it goes is that I have a here. Let me get this out for a demonstration. Right. I had to replace my ball joints, right? So I got two Mevotech ones on Rock Auto, right? And I put one in just fine, but the other one, basically how this kit works is obviously you press it in, and it goes in like this, right? But I pressed it in too far and it ended up hitting against whatever the base plate I was using is. So it kept pressing and squished on the end of the stud on the Mevotech one, so it was ruined. Basically, I couldn't put it in. So I guess just for the future, what I ended up doing for the next ball joint was I got the 36 millimeter used to remove the axle nut, right, and then I put it on at the end, so the whole ball joint can come the whole way out of the knuckle, right? But anyways, so I was like, well, shit, all right, this is my only car at the time, and I have to like get to work and all that. They're like, okay, it's like nighttime on a Sunday. It's like 4 on Sunday. So I run to AutoZone. I say, yeah, can I have the Duralast one? Because the Duralast, that's their premium brand, and that's the one I have in my hand right here. So I went and get that, and I install it, and I have a picture of this. So basically, I put it in, and it didn't even have to get pressed in. It just went right in. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's some weird, different design, because this is smooth, whereas on the other ones, it has like a grit on it or whatever, or a vibrating thing. And, no, not vibrating thing, just like fucking ribs. There we go, ribs. It has ribs on it. And, basically, this just slid right in, and it had this very large nut. It was like a 22 or something millimeter, whereas the factory is only like a 16 or 17, right? So this slid right in, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it's supposed to be different, and I guess it is, because it doesn't have a hole for a cotter pin, and I tried, and it didn't come with a snap ring, and as much as I tried, I couldn't get a snap ring to fit on it, because there's no, inlet or whatever the hell it's called on this design, right? So I was trying my best to get that on. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's just supposed to be torqued down to 1,000,000 foot-pounds, and it just stays in there because of this huge-ass nut it had with the neoprene thread lock thingy on it. It's like, okay. So I put it on. I'll show you the picture. Within 100 feet, slides right out, hits the axle. I'm like, shit. Okay, so I go back to AutoZone. I'm like, oh, damn. It's like 9 o'clock at night just before they're closing, so it's like 8:50 or something. I'm like, okay. Fine, whatever. Just give me the ValueCraft one, because I looked online, the ValueCraft one looks just like the OEM one, and I put it on. It's cut here, but that's kind of how I removed them, because it was a lot easier just to cut the stud off and then just press it out, because pressing on the stud, you got to balance it, and that's just a pain in the ass. But I got this one. Just imagine it's full, right? And it goes in, it sits in there, and I drove with it for a few months. But the problem is, within the first, day of me driving, you can see how easily it moves here. I'm hardly putting any pressure on it, right? It was clunking immediately, basically over any bump, any rough surface. If you drive inside like a small town road or something, it feels like you're going through Afghanistan in like the late 90s or some shit, right? This shit is so loose, and whenever I would take a corner, like, a harder curve, not like racing or anything, just kind of zippier speeds, I would feel the steering wheel just kind of let off, and I was just driving on instinct and not off feel. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like it just rotates so much and so easily, right? And, I guess it's just my experience with it. Just get a Mevotech, or what I put in, a Moog one. I guess on one Mevotech, one Moog, just for information, because I like to know this sort of thing, and you don't see it much online. But this Duralast, made in Korea. This one, made in China. The Mevotech, the other one I have in that is just fine, is made in China. And the Moog, which was actually cheaper than the Mevotech, was made in America, which I found funny. But Mevotech and Moog were the two brands everyone was recommending, so I thought I may as well try it because it was shipping from the same place as my tie rod end. So yeah, but yeah, I guess there's not as much else to it. Don't get a Value Craft one, don't get a Duralast one, and I wouldn't be surprised if like the Advanced Auto Parts and Car Quest and all that shit uses the same one. I have had good luck with Napa, but they're only open from like 9 in the morning to 9:10 in the morning. So if you don't make those times, I guess you're just fucked and you have to get a shitty part. But yeah, that's just my little ball joint story. I'm gonna go throw all this shit away now. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.